Hello everyone out there. A quick word before our episode. Whatever platform you enjoy the More You NoCo on, please hit that subscribe button and write us a review. This helps other people in Northern Colorado find us out there on the interwebs. If you leave us a written review on iTunes and include your name, we'll give you a shout out on future episodes. Whoa, I know. Anyway, don't forget we are on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Google, and all podcast apps on your devices. Share episodes you like with other people in our NoCo community. And don't forget to let us know if you think of any awesome people who should be on the show. Now, on to today's conversation. Welcome to the More You NoCo, bringing curiosity and community connection to Northern Colorado one conversation at a time. Oh, let's go. Community is a buzzword on this podcast. For today's guests, they wanted to start a business for the community, about their community. They started Clover Home Greeley, so people of the Northern Colorado area could love their home spaces where they live. In addition, Clover Home also helps businesses make their interior spaces welcoming and aesthetically desirable. Ryan and Hillary, like many other guests on the show, saw a gap in their surrounding environment and decided to do something about it. Without delay, here is Ryan Krylan and Hillary Matthews of Clover Home Greeley.
Real life.
Yeah. Could very well be one of our kids. You never know.
Right?
I hope not.
I know.
Don't you
They follow us?
You recognize your own kids, right? You can
Oh, yeah.
You hear them and you're like,
That's mine. Yeah.
Yeah, New Year's we were at a party and there were a bunch of parents there and some child tripped and fell down and started crying, and it was funny because you saw all the parents turn at once and their ears went to like stage 5 alarm, and is that my kid? And
nope,
then
not mine.
Everyone who wasn't just went back to what they were doing.
I know.
Yeah.
You can like visibly see the
And
parents
there's
relax when it's
different
not
levels
their kid.
of cries. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that one sounds bad, but really it's just they didn't get their way.
Yeah, he's probably fine.
You learn to interpret the
Yes.
level of crying.
Yes,
For
like when my
sure.
child busted his head open a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
Like,
that's serious.
that was
that's a serious cry.
Yeah, that's a real cry.
That was real. Yeah. So how many
Yeah.
kids each of you all have? Because I saw it's like 5 or 6.
I have
Hillary has
5.
5. I have 4.
5 and 4. Okay. So I guess we should introduce you all to the listeners because we've been recording. I sit here with Ryan Krylan
Yes. Hello.
and Hillary Matthews,
Hey.
and you all are founders, owners of Clover Home, which is a business in Greeley, and we'll jump into what all that is. But first, we were kind of talking about you are both mothers, 4, 5,
Yep.
Yes.
and so how did you all come to start this business?
Well, it was probably about 3 years ago, and we were on a girls' trip actually, and kind of throughout that trip decided that this is something that we wanted to do, and when we got home, we just dove into it, just did it.
Yeah.
So what were you all doing before?
We're moms.
Yes.
Yeah.
And still are busy
Still very
moms.
much.
So now you have 2 jobs.
Yes. So I have, like you said, I have 4 kids. I have 2 boys and 2 girls, and Hillary has 5 boys.
5 boys.
Yes.
What is that like?
Crazy. It's fun. It's really fun. I was just posting the other day about how I'm glad I'm a boy mom because I'm much more of a Star Wars football kind of girl than dolls and tea sets. So it's a good fit for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I imagine it's big time at your house with 5 boys,
Yeah.
and Star Wars comes around, and you're like, oh, here we go.
We had a Star Wars marathon last year over Christmas break.
That is that is a Christmas break well spent, I
Yes,
would say.
yes.
There you
It
go.
was very fun.
Yep.
So did you all have this idea individually? Did one of you kind of bring it to the other, or how did this start way back?
It was like we were in Waco, Texas. We were fans of the TV show Fixer Upper, and I actually went to Baylor, so it was kind of my old stomping grounds.
Okay.
And,
I went to Oklahoma State.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Big 12. So we were down there. We went to the Magnolia Market and just appreciating what they've done for Waco. And I don't know, one of us was like, what if we did this? What if we just help people love where they live, help them love Greeley, like Chip and Joe have helped people love Waco? And at first it was kind of like, yeah, maybe. And then it was like, no, this is what we love. So
Yeah, it's kind of shock for our husbands when we got home. We were gone for 3 days, and then we came home and said, okay, we're starting a business. So
Yeah, they made us have a sit-down dinner with them.
They made us have a
They
meeting.
grilled us for a few hours to make sure we were serious. And
So, yeah, and then it just took off from there.
And then you asked them that night, so, guys, you going to invest or what?
Exactly. Yep,
We-
whether
we
they
gave you
wanted
the
to or
pitch.
not.
Yeah.
They were in.
So we're all doing this for family and friends, just kind of for fun? Would you walk into people's homes and think, oh, like this, and this? Like, do you mind if I say this about your kitchen? Or was this something you kind of like jumped into after starting the business?
I think that people would maybe ask us, like they just knew that it was a passion of ours to make our own homes beautiful spaces or comfortable spaces or whatever. And so people would ask us, oh, give me your advice on this or give me your advice on that. I don't know that we ever just
We would never
volunteered.
volunteer. Like,
That
you
is-
should really do something
Right.
here.
But they could definitely tell that this was a passion of ours, and so they had us over for dinner. They might ask for advice
brains
or
a
whatever.
little.
Yeah.
So we should probably explain so people know exactly what we're getting at here. What does Clover Home do? What are you all about?
So we do interior design. Basically, we like to go into people's homes or businesses or really wherever they need us and just help them love where they live or love where they work or anything like that. And, it can range from a lot of things. Sometimes we just come in and give people ideas and help kind of get them started and on their way to doing it. And other people, we come in and we do the whole thing from beginning to end and make their space a space that they can really love and enjoy and functional for them.
We've done offices, we've done a restaurant, we've done homes, so we can, help people pick all their tile and fixtures or whatever for their kitchen or bathroom remodel, or we can just help them, rearrange their furniture or pick out paint colors or just kind of give them that kickstart that helps them get their project going or whatever. So some people it's just they need a vision, and we give them a little presentation, a few little hours of work, we give them that presentation, and then they take the rest of it. Some people, they get the vision and they're like, now implement it. And that's really fun because then we get to be creative and creating that space that we've cast a vision and then we get to implement that. That's what's really fun.
Right. So I guess it varies project by project where you walk in and the amount of ideas that the owner or the people living in that space already have versus they throw their hands up and they say, Clover Home, you take it away.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we work with so many different styles of homes, and so we're trying to, hone in on the owner's style, their needs, and the way they need the space to function, and coming in and bringing in all that works for them is really unique to them. Some people, they have a very distinct style. They kind of already have what they want. They just need that extra little bit. And then there are some people that are just like, I have no idea. Just do it.
And then, there are people, too, that we've helped out that we walk in and their homes are beautiful, but sometimes they're just too busy.
Right.
And they just don't have time to do something that's been on their list to do for a long time. And so they'll call us and they'll just say, it has to get done. I just have to have it done. And so we'll take care of it for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit a bias. Sometimes I walk into people's homes and I see that they have moved recently, or maybe they didn't even move recently. It's been a long time, and they have no decorations up.
Yeah.
Now, I know this is a first world thing. It's just me being finicky. But it's like when I move to a new place, the walls have got to be decorated. It's got to feel like home for me right away. And so there's always a small part of me that sees bare walls, and I'm like, ooh, it just doesn't sit with me well. And it reminds me of your all's business where you really want to make someone's space come to life, feel good for them, and just feel like this is a place that I'd love to come home to.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll work with, most of the time we're working with the stuff they've already got. Sometimes people need new furniture or whatever, but, we're bringing in accessories, or we're helping with paint, or we're throwing in a rug. Obviously people can have large budgets, but a lot of times we're working with small budgets that people are just taking what they already have and adding a few things to just really bring the space together, make it functional, make it beautiful, make it a place that they want to be instead of, a place that feels stressful to them because they don't know where to put the artwork, or they don't. And I think a lot of people they're afraid to put a hole in the wall. And so they know they have all this great artwork or they have great family photos, but they don't know how to put them up, and then they are just paralyzed because they're scared to put holes in their walls. So they'll live in a space for years with nothing on the walls because they're scared that there's going to be a hole in the wall.
They should come to my house. I have a lot of holes in the wall. You just got to get over that.
Yeah, I put holes in my walls and then I patch them up if I move it.
Yeah.
I thought you meant you just had like holes in your walls that you never redecorated. I thought,
Yes, I just leave them.
She just punches the wall.
Yeah.
well, I thought it might be similar to how like it's the old adage that like a shoemaker often has the worst shoes, or like mechanics a lot of times have the roughest cars. And I was about to delve into, well, is maybe your home need Clover Home to come by?
Maybe. No.
Yeah.
No, her home is
No. I think
definitely has a Clover style.
Yeah.
No, my husband always comes home and there's always a project going in some room in our home. And I think kind of his pet peeve with me is he'll walk in the door and he'll say, more pillows. Why do you have more pillows? But pillows are great. Like, you got to have pillows.
I think that's the big reason they supported us getting started, was because they both were like, maybe now they can hone their energy on other people's homes
They
instead
won't
of always
focus on
on
ours.
our own homes.
Little did they know.
I know. It just
Right.
made it worse.
It just makes us want to
Yeah.
work on our own homes more.
So how do you all find the items that you end up using in people's homes? Do you have go-to stores? Do you have like kind of picked out sets? I was looking at some of your work on the website, and I was just fascinated by how you decide what to incorporate and where you get those items.
Well, we do have a number of vendors that we can pull from, but a lot of it is we shop locally, and we have our favorite kind of go-to spots that we go to find things. I think once we meet with the client and really kind of hone in on the vision for their project, then it comes easily and it goes really quickly, and we know what we're looking for and we can find it pretty quick.
Yeah,
So-
once we know kind of their style too, it hones in on certain stores or vendors or
Right.
And certainly budget. You know, there are stores that are going to be more budget friendly, and there's going to be places that, you know, if people are willing to spend for that high quality piece that's going to last them a long time, then, you know, there'll be certain stores we'll turn to for that. So kind of depending on
The budget.
Yeah, the budget and what the client really wants. If they have small children, sometimes they're like, I don't want to spend a fortune. I'm okay with IKEA furniture if you can make it look good. You know, like they want.
It will be trashed.
Yeah, they know they're going to be investing in something later down the road. And then we have clients who they want that piece that's going to be there for the next 10 or 15 years, that quality sofa or whatever that this is.
Yeah. When y'all were starting out, how did you get your first clients?
We called our friends.
Yeah.
No, we did. We called several friends, and we just said we decided that we're going to do this. You know, do you guys have any rooms that you would be willing to let us work on, just to kind of get us started? And thankfully, we had some wonderful friends who we've done a few things for now that let us do their guest bedroom. That was our first job, and it was a lot of fun. So, and it was a lot of fun because the owners just kind of told us what they wanted, but they trusted us to just take it and run with it, and it turned out
been
great.
3 years, and they haven't moved an item
Yes,
in that room.
everything is still exactly as we left it,
Yeah,
and it's great.
Very
So,
honoring.
yeah, it is. It is.
Well, that's how good the design was.
There you go. But yeah, I think that's a big part of it that I think we've run into with a couple of clients is, I guess when you hire us or you hire an interior designer, you have to be willing at some point to trust them and just let them do their job.
Right.
And kind of step away a bit. And for some people, that's really hard.
I mean, it's their home, and
Right.
I know with my own home, we sold our last house. My husband and I, we threw around the idea of renting it instead of selling it, and I was like, I don't think I can do that. That was my home for so many years. I don't know that I could just let someone else, even though I wouldn't be living there. So I understand when a client, has a hard time letting go and let somebody take over the design because it's their home. We certainly totally take into account the client's style and taste and wants and all that kind of stuff. But if we can have a little bit of freedom and creativity, I think that's where we have
a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun. We do our best work because we can say this all comes together in a way that maybe the client wouldn't be able to envision. Yeah, if they can trust us.
In the end, I feel like all of our jobs have always come to, I'm a little biased, but, but I feel like they've all come together really beautifully. And of course, it's our goal to walk away from every project having our clients be just ecstatically happy with what we leave them with. So,
do you feel like that trust was lower in the beginning when you were just trying to get yourselves founded? Do you feel like on average people just kind of give you the reins more now than they used to, or is it really just kind of vary on the person to person?
I think it varies by client.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a client last summer, and we've done like 3 rooms in their home, and they basically said, have at it, and just, we went shopping, they gave us a budget, we stay in their budget, and they say, love it, love it, love it, and just, then that's super fun for us. And then we've had clients who want to, every detail.
They want to okay everything.
Approve every tiny little thing. And certainly we're staying in budget and things like that, but we'll give them 4 different tables to choose from, and they'll come back and want 4 more, and they'll worry over it and stress over it, and I mean, it's their home, and I get that. So we want them to be happy, and if that makes them happy. But I think it's more of a personality thing. And some people they have a very specific style, and sometimes it's hard to nail what that is. So sometimes it takes 8 tables
till you find the perfect one.
Right.
I feel like a lot of times, at least for myself, or maybe what I imagine with a lot of people that you work with, is they have this space the way it is, and they know they don't want it to be that way, but they don't necessarily know what to do with it. They don't have a lot of experience. They haven't seen as many spaces as you all have, and I think there's incredible value for you all to come in and just, at minimum, give them a perspective and say, here's what's possible. And then they're like, oh my God, I never even thought about that. Like, I saw some of your work, and if you had shown me the before photos and said, well, Ivan, what do you think you do from here? I wouldn't have even known, like, the direction that you may go. And then you see the after photos, and you're like, oh, like, yeah, that. And
we worked with a dental office in town. They wanted their lobby. It had been kind of stuck in the 70s, and they needed new furniture, and it has yellow oak paneling. And as much as they would have loved to have said, let's rip it all out and do something different, that was not in the budget. So we've got to work with the yellow oak paneling that is all over the space. And how do we work with, this paneling that is very dated? So we looked for paint colors, and we chose a warm gray, and it was a kind of a controversy at first with some of the different people involved in the process, that they felt like we needed to choose a warmer color, a brown, or
we had to fight for that gray.
We had to fight for the gray, and our philosophy was that with the warm of the yellow oak, it needed the cooler tone to balance it out. And in the end, the client was ecstatic, and she says this is the dentist. She goes in from her office or back where she works with her patients. She comes into the waiting room to enjoy the waiting room space, because it's just become such a relaxing environment. Even though we never were able to take out the dated yellow oak, because the color we chose was such a nice balance. So it was definitely something that they had to trust us and relax and know that maybe we actually might.
Well, and didn't they end up painting then the rest?
Right.
Everything in the back that
they ended up
taking it through their entire office.
They ended up taking it, in the back.
So if they just trusted you from the start.
Exactly.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's right.
But sometimes it's hard for people to embrace that idea, because it's not necessarily what they've always thought, not the design rules that kind of people think, I think there's a lot of rules out there that people think they have to follow. You can't mix metals, or you can't mix woods, or you have to keep a bedroom set together, or
rules are made to be broken.
Yes.
You heard it here from Clover Home. We're breaking rules.
That's right.
Redefining barriers.
It's crazy.
When you think of all the projects that you've done in the last 3 years, is there one or two that stand out as maybe your most difficult or your most challenging, or ones that have just stuck with you for some reason or another?
Well, I think our first project will always stick with us, just because it was our first. So I think we'll always kind of remember that one. I think the playroom that we did almost an entire basement. They wanted a playroom for their girls. They have 3 little girls, and then they took a storage space and wanted to make it into a theater room. And then just a few little touch-ups and a guest bedroom down there and a bathroom. But that one That one was really fun.
It was fun,
It
and
took
it was
us several days.
It was challenging because I mean, we like color, but we tend to be maybe more neutral and with little pops of color, not bold, dramatic things. And this
They're
family
very colorful.
are very colorful, and they have 4 colors they use throughout their entire house, and they wanted.
And they're all very bold.
Yes, turquoise, purple, orange, and red. And
Oh, wow.
they wanted all of those incorporated in the space, and so it was a fun challenge for us to really embrace something that's maybe not our personal style, but make it really fun for them. And their family lives down there now. They love that space. They watch movies in their movie room, and the girls are down playing in their playroom all the time. And my kids go over there, and they are jealous. They're like, why can't we have a zombie tag room like like them? This is so fun. So it definitely was a fun space. And then they've since called us to help with their office, and so it's fun to have a client really enjoy their space and then call you back and say, hey, do this again.
We had our first client, too, who was not a friend or anybody, like, who had any connection to us whatsoever. And so that was really fun. That first project that we got to branch out, and it wasn't with anybody that we felt, you have your friends in the beginning who want to help you get going and give you a hand a little bit. And so this was the first client that we had that we knew had no connection to either one of us, wasn't even friends with any of our friends.
Right.
So
it was like the first stranger. So
the first stranger.
She just found us online and called us, and she totally trusted us, and it was really fun.
And it was great. Yeah, we had a great time doing her place.
It was great to feel like we had a place in the community beyond just kind of our circle, that wow, we were actually impacting people in Greeley that found us because they just found us online, and that was kind of fun to be like, okay, this is for real.
Yeah, I stumbled upon you all on Instagram because I noticed in your bio you said that you loved Greeley and you loved the community and you want people to really enjoy where they live, and we were talking before the show, both in your home, but also in the greater community, the people around you and the communities that you're involved in here in Northern Colorado. And it's nice to see, because that's the exact reason I started this podcast, was to bring people together and help Northern Colorado, Greeley, Loveland, Fort Collins, Longmont, wherever you happen to live, Windsor, feel a little bit more like home out here.
Well, that's how we met. We met through our church, and our vision of our church is to really love Greeley, love this community well, and so we have different organizations that we personally are involved with, or even Clover has been involved with. We've worked with Habitat, and we've worked with the food bank and NCMC, and we feel like we want to love our city well, and so we certainly it's implemented in our work and in spaces when we want people to have their own space that they love, whether it's their home or their workspace or whatever. But we want to be involved in making Greeley a great place for people to live and invested here. So that's kind of how we got started, and the motivation behind what we do.
Is the business of Clover Home any different running it now that you're 3 years in than when you first opened it and what you thought? Because, there's that day one, you get that first stranger's home, you get that design, and you think, okay, here's what I think this business is going to be like. But have you been surprised, shocked, or just, has anything taken you by storm in the last 3 years of, oh, this is what this is really going to be like, or just...
I think we've certainly learned more about the business and which vendors to use with which styles and things like that maybe have morphed over the years. We thought we would maybe work more wholesale for a while, and I think we tend to lean more toward just buying specific items for specific clients rather than purchasing in bulk, which has kind of morphed over the years. And we certainly love to find that special something that maybe you wouldn't just pop in a big box store and everybody see. We like to give people something that makes their space unique, not that same light fixture that everybody's picked up or whatever, the one that's super popular or common. And so trying to find those particular vendors, or even if it's a common vendor, finding that special piece that really makes the space unique. And that can be challenging sometimes. And so we've kind of morphed in the way we do each project. And that changes a lot too, just because of the different clients. They're asking for different things, and there's no set rules for the way we work a space. I mean, the rule we set, we come in with a presentation, basically. We give them a vision. And then from there, it can kind of go a lot of different directions. So,
yeah, I think people have found well, at least I hope people have found when they've worked with us that Hillary and I are really flexible and with how we work with people, and we really want them to be, be at their comfort level. So we're never going to push you to do more than you're comfortable doing. But I think, everybody wants that kind of pie in the sky. Like you want all of the beautiful things, but if you need to break up a project and do it slowly or do one thing at a time, like that's totally fine. You need to be comfortable with the whole process.
Right.
Yeah, and we have recently spent a lot more time on social media. So we've spent a lot of
uncomfortable at first. Right. But we're doing it.
That's a game you have to play.
We're Gen Xers and not millennials, so it definitely is a bigger step for us.
There was a learning curve.
But we feel like we can offer so much more to our clients. I think at first we felt like we're a local business, so we're going to spend our time and efforts locally, and we thought Instagram in particular is a national thing, and would that be worth our time? And we've discovered that with Instagram, it's opened up a whole new world for us with vendors and other people who do similar things that give us inspiration, or we can work with these vendors to provide something for clients that they wouldn't necessarily have access to without that. So yeah, Instagram has kind of become a bigger part of who we are, and that we've reached out to a lot of other businesses and people who just do similar things to be able to provide more for our clients.
Yeah. Yeah, your business in Realm is very visual, so I feel like posting things that you've done, like before and after, would be powerful on an Instagram, or just showing, like, here's ideas for this and that, which I've seen you all are doing, and Instagram's how I found you all.
Yeah.
I agree that social media and Instagram is like a national thing, but, just looking around this coffee shop, there are probably people on Instagram or Facebook right now, and so it's both national, but it's very connected and regional, too.
Right.
So if people are interested, if they roll over to the Instagram, or if they hear this and they think, maybe I have some spaces for you all, how should they get in a hold of you?
Well, they can shoot us an email at info@clovergreeley.com.
You can DM us through Instagram, or we have a Facebook, Clover Home, same handle, Clover Greeley. You can send us a message through any of that. You can hit our website, which is clovergreeley.com, and you can send us a message through the website as well.
Okay, so y'all are based in Greeley, but do you do work outside of town as well?
We do kind of the northern Colorado area.
Okay, because we have listeners in Fort Collins, Windsor, and everywhere else who might be giving you a call soon.
Yeah,
perfect.
That'd be great.
So thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't worry. We will be back soon, hearing from another person or a group of people on the More You NoCo. As always, I want to thank Russell Isaac Long for the music used here at the More You NoCo. Check us out on Instagram or Facebook for extra information, bonus content, and updates about guests who have previously been on the podcast. That's the More You NoCo, all one word. Original, right? Thank you for listening and supporting the show. Until next time, peace!